Intelligent men don't just speak less, they speak with precision. In a world overflowing with noise, opinions, and instant reactions, it's not the loudest who are respected. It's the ones who know when to stay silent. Because silence, when used wisely, is power. Not every thought needs to be voiced. Not every feeling needs to be expressed. And not every situation requires your opinion. So today, we're diving deep into 7 things intelligent men never say. Not because they're trying to be fake or mysterious, but because they've mastered the art of emotional discipline, and they understand that certain words weaken you, expose you, and even sabotage your peace. Let's get into it. 1. That's just who I am. This phrase is often used as a defense mechanism, a shield people hide behind when they don't want to grow. But intelligent men never trap themselves in such mental cages. When a man says that's just who I am, he's essentially choosing stagnation. He's declaring that he's unwilling to change, to evolve, to adapt. And that's the opposite of wisdom. Life is a constant process of refinement. Who you were last year shouldn't be who you are today. Intelligent men understand that self-awareness is the beginning of transformation. They recognize their flaws, not as permanent traits, but as areas of improvement. So instead of making excuses, they ask better questions. Why do I act this way? What can I learn from this? Who do I want to become? They understand that identity isn't fixed. It's a choice. It's shaped by the standards you hold yourself to, the habits you build, and the people you surround yourself with. So instead of hiding behind, that's just who I am, an intelligent man leans into growth. He chooses to become better, even when it's uncomfortable, because stagnation isn't strength. Evolution is. 2. I already know that. You'll never hear a wise man say this, because truly intelligent men understand one simple truth. Knowing is not the same as understanding. People who say, I already know that, usually say it to protect their ego, to avoid the discomfort of being wrong or appearing less informed. But here's the thing. Real wisdom requires humility. And humility says, maybe I know this, but maybe there's a deeper layer I've missed. The smartest men never assume they've figured it all out. In fact, the more they learn, the more they realize how little they truly know. They approach every conversation with a student mindset, even if they're the most experienced person in the room. Because repetition is not a waste of time. Sometimes hearing the same idea again at the right moment can hit differently. It can remind you, ground you, or unlock a new level of understanding. So instead of saying, I already know that, an intelligent man listens. Fully, not just to respond, but to absorb, to reflect, to sharpen his perspective. Because ego blocks growth, but curiosity, that opens doors. 3. It's not fair. Life isn't fair. Intelligent men know this, and they don't waste energy complaining about it. Because every time you say, it's not fair, you give away your power. You frame yourself as a victim. And that mindset, it makes you emotionally weak. Of course, unfair things happen. People betray you. Opportunities slip away. Others get ahead with less effort. But instead of whining, intelligent men recalibrate. They ask, what now? What can I control? How do I move forward stronger? They understand that life doesn't reward fairness. It rewards discipline, resilience, and adaptability. Complaining does nothing but drain energy. But action, that changes everything. This mindset shift is powerful. Instead of viewing challenges as injustice, they view them as training. Instead of asking, why me? They ask, what is this teaching me? Because the truth is, no one owes you anything. Not society, not your boss, not even life itself. The moment you accept, that is the moment you reclaim your strength. So intelligent men drop the phrase, it's not fair. They replace it with a better one. It's not fair, and I'll win anyway. 4. I can't help it. This phrase signals helplessness. And intelligent men don't operate from that place. They know that while you can't control every situation, you can control your response. Saying, I can't help it, is like surrendering to your worst instincts and expecting people to be okay with it. For example, you lose your temper. You say hurtful things. Then you justify it with, "I can't help it. I was just angry." But anger isn't the problem. Lack of control is. Intelligent men take full responsibility for their emotions. They don't let their feelings lead. They lead their feelings. This doesn't mean they're emotionless. It means they master their emotions. They pause. They breathe. They reflect before they react. And if they do mess up, they own it. Not with excuses, but with accountability. Saying, "I can't help it," is the language of a man who hasn't trained himself. Intelligent men know that self-control is like a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it gets. So when the urge to lash out, shut down, or react impulsively shows up, they don't say, "I can't help it." They say, "This is hard, but I'm stronger than this." 5. I told you so. Nothing screams insecurity louder than a man who needs to be right all the time. Intelligent men don't rub their correctness in people's faces. They don't gloat. They don't seek validation through "I told you so." Why? Because they don't argue to win. They speak to clarify, to help, to lead. If someone ignores their advice and fails, they don't kick them while they're down. They offer grace, silence, or support. Saying, "I told you so" might feel good in the moment, but it burns bridges. It bruises egos, and it reveals a need to be superior. Intelligent men don't need that. They're secure in their knowing and humble in their silence. Besides, true influence doesn't come from proving others wrong. It comes from staying grounded, even when you're right. So if someone circles back and realizes you were right all along, you don't have to say a word. Your actions already spoke. And that's what intelligent men understand. Being right isn't about the words you say. It's about the impact you make. 6. It's not my fault. Deflecting blame is a reflex for many, but not for intelligent men. When something goes wrong, they don't scramble for excuses. They look inward first. Why? Because responsibility isn't about fault. It's about control. Even if they didn't cause the problem, they ask, "What role did I play in this? What can I learn? How can I fix it moving forward?" This mindset separates leaders from victims. When you constantly say, "It's not my fault," you become reactive, defensive, weak. But when you take ownership, you gain clarity. You grow. You lead. It's easy to point fingers, much harder to look in the mirror. But intelligent men know that's where real progress begins. Whether it's a failed relationship, a missed opportunity, or a business mistake, they don't waste time shifting blame. They take the hit, they learn the lesson, and they move forward with strength. Because real power doesn't come from avoiding mistakes. It comes from owning them. 7. That's impossible. To the average mind, this phrase feels reasonable. But to the intelligent man, it's lazy thinking. Because impossible is usually just difficult. And difficulty is the training ground of the uncommon man. Saying something is impossible is often a way of quitting before even trying. But intelligent men don't back down from hard things. They get curious. They break the goal down. They study the problem. They ask better questions. And they adapt. History is filled with examples of people who did the impossible, not because they were superhuman, but because they refused to believe the lie of limitation. Intelligent men know that limitations exist, but most of them live in your mind. And once you challenge them, something powerful happens. You grow, you stretch, you rise. So instead of saying, "That's impossible," they say, "What would it take to make this happen? Who has done this before? What's the next small step?" Because the difference between the intelligent man and the average one, the intelligent man believes in possibilities and then gets to work. The words you speak reflect the beliefs you carry. And intelligent men, they don't speak to impress. They speak with purpose. They stay silent when needed. And most importantly, they guard their tongue like a warrior guards his sword. So the next time you're tempted to say something impulsively, pause. Ask yourself, does this reflect who I want to be? Because growth isn't just in what you do. It's in what you no longer say. And if you're on that path of growth, this channel is for you. Subscribe to Stoic Mindset for more timeless wisdom, self-mastery, and power through silence. Stay grounded, stay focused, and as always, stay stoic.